Now we pass to the experience from all the participant countries, and then we start with Portugal.
We are a town which has some grave problems. We have lots of poverty. We have lots of social neighborhoods here in Olhão.
Temos muitos alunos que são provenientes de agregados familiares, de famílias com muitos problemas socioemocionais. Temos alunos que os pais estão detidos, as mães.
They sometimes don't have parents that can give you the comfort or can give you sometimes something to eat, and they are there in the classroom.
Por isso é que foi criado um projeto de território educativo de intervenção prioritária. Nós nesta escola tínhamos alunos com problemas de comportamento, com alunos muito agressivos. Eles não sabiam como é que deveriam estar numa sala de aula, eles não respeitavam o outro, não se respeitavam entre eles e não respeitavam o professor.
Eu penso que nós não podemos ignorar que a Europa está em profunda mudança e naturalmente que essas mudanças refletem-se também ao nível da educação. E penso também que as escolas, seja em que parte da Europa for, têm todas elas problemas. Podem alguns ser idênticos, outros diferentes, mas todas as escolas têm problemas. Face a esses problemas é necessário agir, procurar soluções realmente efetivas.
Eu antigamente era uma criança mais nervosa, era daqueles de ofender os colegas, metia-me com o pessoal, mas desde que comecei a fazer meditação parece que comecei a acalmar, parece que outra pessoa se sinto mais relaxado, mais livre, olho para as coisas com outra claridade, com outros olhos, aprendi muita coisa.
Tinha muito baixa autoestima e era muito negativo, estava sempre a desvalorizar-me. Felizmente a meditação apareceu na minha vida e tudo mudou completamente.
Com a implementação deste projeto, nós sentimos que a nossa escola, os nossos alunos, têm vindo a melhorar progressivamente.
O projeto Europe apresenta-se como uma ferramenta realmente extraordinária, porque o programa Tempo de Silêncio é fácil de implementar, é simples e realmente traz-nos resultados concretos, e isso pode-se ver a vários níveis.
Professores, vocês já repararam que têm nas vossas mãos a melhor matéria-prima que existe? São os nossos alunos, é o ser humano. Vamos fazer com que esses seres humanos sejam as melhores pessoas da amanhã. E temos um projeto inovador, no qual acreditamos é uma ferramenta poderosíssima que muda comportamentos, atitudes das pessoas.
Thank you. Now, Antonio Pedro.
Hello, I'm talking to you from the Escola Alberto Iria em Olhão. I'm with the students of Paulo Corte Real, and we'll hear from the students. We have some news here regarding our agenda, because the director of the Teacher Training Center from do Litoral La Serra unfortunately informed me that due to technical difficulties he wouldn't be able to be with us right now. But we will hear from Miguel Buleu, the principal of the cluster of schools Dom Dinis, and if we can pass the word to him now, that would be very nice.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, Europe. Hello, everyone who is following and celebrating Erasmus Days with us and focusing here in the France project. We joined friends here in Londinier schools. We joined Friends project in the beginning of 2019, and it was like a meeting of minds and wills and education vision between Portuguese partners, especially for me, because it was one goal of my school education project. In 2 school years, were formed almost 500 students and 50 teachers, as well as some school staff and parents. In December 2019, we accomplished having 99% of our primary school, more or less 400 students, between 6 and 10 years old, practicing a quiet time with the Transcendental Meditation technique. Primary results reported by teachers showed a positive impact in psychological dimension skills, of course, practitioners or performers, as well in educational environment. Even with COVID confinement, school distance learning plan included quiet time task. This school year, till this December, we will form more 220 students, 220 students, all first and fifth classes here. With goodwill and some investment, in few years, we could have all our students practicing transcendental meditation. Ending my short intervention, is my conviction the new educational challenge goal is educating our kids for well-being and inclusion in education. And TM, for sure, is an enormous help tool to achieve that. Thank you to all.
I'm back here in the classroom, and we were hoping to have with us our esteemed principal, but unfortunately she is she's in a meeting with some authorities, some very important school matter, and she is not able to be with us right now. But she passed me a message, and it says like this: our school since long has welcomed innovative projects, both national and international, namely the Europe and France projects, which attained the expected success. Now, once more, we have a challenge that came from above, from a team from the Ministry of Education, to which we adhered through the person of Paulo, which made a proposal with the project with the following theme: measure of personal, social, and community development. And the central theme of this project is to develop time of silence, a project deeply rooted in our school and which is part of our culture in the school. It gave us also the opportunity to contract as a specialized technician, Antonio Gonçalves, and that is me, who already cooperated with us. We also would like to say that we have the unconditional support of the Ministry of Education in the implementation of these approaches, of these innovative approaches towards the well-being and the educational success of the students. It was a pleasure to speak to you. So this was the message of our principal, and now I would like to pass the word to the students. I have here one student, Tamini Rani, and I'll start with her because she's closer. And please, Tamini, you can go ahead and tell your message.
Hello, my name is Tarini and I'm going to talk about my experience in meditation and in the school. So, if you want more inner peace, well-being and happiness, do meditation. Meditation helps us to settle down our mind. Meditation gives the body deep rest that is deeper than the rest from sleep. We learn meditate by meditating, and about my experience in school is very good. In 1 year, I learned many things from my teachers. All the teachers and students are very helpful. They are always ready to help me in the study. My school time is the best time of my life. I feel proud to be part of this school. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Damini. And now we have here another student, Angelica Silva, and she is going to also speak to us. Okay, she will be talking in Portuguese and I will translate. Thank you.
Nós, alunos do 9D,
We, students of 9D,
sentimos super contentes por fazermos parte deste projeto.
we are very happy to be part of this project.
Ajuda-nos muito em termos de escola,
It helps us a lot with school.
temos muito mais concentração e calma.
We have a lot more focus and calm.
Ajudou-nos muito também o facto de meditarmos desde o 7º ano.
What helped us very much is that we are meditating since 7th grade. So, and that is the statement here of our students and from here. This will be all from us now. I'll give the word back to you, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Antonio. Thank you, Portugal. Very interesting also just to listen also the students, not only teachers. And thank you also to Miguel and to all the Portuguese team. It is really inspiring. Now we pass to Spain. It looks like Eurovision this. Spain will talk Ivailo Jaralampe. He will explain us about what Spain did for disseminating of French project. Ivo?
Hello, thank you, Gonzalo, and hello, everybody in Europe. We are, just a little introduction, we are Access Sofia, and we are a non-profit organization established in Madrid in 2013, working internationally for social inclusion and empowerment. In terms of the project Friends, we joined a little bit earlier in the second part of the project, and our mission was the dissemination and making the project more known, mainly on 3 levels. On education level, we have been in continuous contact with Alejandro Sanz from Asociación de Educación Basada en la Conciencia in Madrid. And he has been informing us all the time about all the contacts for trying the implementation of MT in Spanish schools, which we hope will continue after the pandemic situation in Spain specifically and in Europe. The second level we worked on was the dissemination on media level, and we achieved in Spanish media several publications, first in general media, including a leading newspaper, which is El Economista, specialized education media, in this case including a long interview about the project in one of the leading education media, which is Magisterio, radio coverage in a national radio program, which is Libertad FM, and appearances in a series of regional media in Spain. And on the European level, we informed of the project of several European education authorities as well, as obviously our own network of partners and stakeholders. And the main body of information about the Friends project in all these 3 levels was focused mainly on the application in the partner countries and informing about the results of the studies, what we have been listening from our partners so far. And our analysis on the impact showed in the media, in both general and education media, shows that they are interested in the project as a tool for achieving all these kind of objectives, such as nonviolent education, resilience, and inclusion. These are issues that nowadays media are all interested in, and we consider that with this kind of uncertain times we are living, they will be more and more interested in all these kind of issues. In that sense, we consider that the dissemination of the project on a wider level is essential, because it not only gives more visibility of the time, quiet time with the TM itself, but also would help anybody who is trying to implement in schools or contacting or negotiating in schools to show that there is a widely spread, verified, easy to implement working methodology on European level. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivo. So,
Can I say one thing, one moment? I wanted to emphasize a point that was very important in the message from the principal of the Alberto Iria that Antonio Pedro Gonzalez read, because I don't know if it came out very clear, but basically now Antonio Pedro Gonzalez, that is a TM teacher and has been the TM teacher of the Algarve region and of Lisbon, is hired by the school as a technician for teaching TM. So he has really been hired. The program to which the principal was referring in the message was just a program that allowed them to hire officially as TM teacher Antonio Gonzalez for the school. So he has a real contract with the school for that. And I think this is the first time this happened, at least in Europe. So I just wanted to emphasize this because I think this is a great achievement and for sure will be a great boost to our project in the school and could be a very good suggestion for other countries to include this possibility for school and for other schools in Portugal. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mita. Yes, you are right that you emphasize this because it's very good news, an extraordinary achievement for the project. I hope that the rest of the countries will manage to get also teachers in their public schools, also as TM teachers, as part of the teachers staff. So now we pass the floor to UK. I pass the floor to Richard Johnson, who will be introducing all the teachers and stakeholders in UK. But first, we will watch a video. Thank you.
Of our staff are practicing on a regular basis, and they all reported very significant changes in how they felt about themselves as individuals, but also about how they felt as employees of our company, about how they felt in their work. And all of them said they felt more valued, and they were very significant results, very powerful indeed. And it's renewed my practice and the practice of those people in school when I've fed back the results to them.
When I was first approached about TM, I was reasonably sceptical about it because I didn't have a great understanding of the impact that it would make. And now I can see the benefit both personally and with our students.
I found actually that Even simple things like the minor annoyances at work where you get a little angry. The next free period, I go and meditate and I deal with it differently, and definitely do. It's been a real life changer for me.
If you'd said to me a year ago that I would be meditating regularly over a period of a year, I wouldn't have believed you. If you'd said to me a year ago after listening to Richard talk that it was something that rang true to my own sense of self and true to how I want to be, I wouldn't have believed you. The impact on my life personally has been significant.
I feel like I've been given permission almost just to have time to myself, to think, to relax, to just let everything kind of flow. And it's amazing. I love it.
Very often the young people that we deal with can fly off the handle, they can feel threatened, they can feel like a conversation, particularly with a person in authority, is something which is a threat to them. And I think certainly, my experience of meditation and looking at some of the research as well, the ability to react more calmly, I suppose, in a more measured way is something that I think they would benefit from for sure.
I put so much into being the father, being the husband, being the carer for my father, all of the above. And I was putting myself bottom of the pile or not even in the pile at all. And I think what TM does, it gives you that opportunity to reflect on that and realise that if you do that, eventually there'll be payback and then you're no good to anybody. You have to find that daily time for yourself.
My family will tell you that I take less things home, I take less baggage home because my day finishes and I'm much calmer in the way that I deal with things.
We've sometimes talked about how you fit it in, particularly if you've got a busy home life. And people have talked about stopping the car in a car park and meditating and doing all sorts of things like that. So I think when it becomes important to you, you just do find the time and the space to be able to do it.
I've started getting up sort of half an hour earlier, so I can do the 20 minutes in the morning, and in the evenings I just watch 20 minutes less television when I get in, so that's easily done,
Not only do I enjoy it, that time for yourself, that time for almost shutting a very busy brain down has made me feel very much like a different person.
One of the things that I was very impressed with when I looked at the video footage of other schools that had used TM was it was quite amazing to notice the eyes of the young people on the videos, and they were all shining and their faces were shining. And one of the things that worries me about the young people that we teach is that they look very down and very miserable, and I'm quite concerned about that level of depression and misery in children as young as they are. So I am hoping that shining light that comes from within that I've seen on the videos will be transferred into our schools.
So thank you very much, Gonzalo, and it's a pleasure to introduce to you some of the team who have been implementing the project, but also I'd like to sort of introduce you in person to Philomena Cousins, who's the Chief Executive of the Keys Cooperative Academy you've just heard. So Philomena, would you like to say a few words about the effect of the programme on the schools, because you're in charge of both Heybridge and Colchester. So if you'd like to say a few words.
Yes, okay. I've turned my mic on, so hopefully people can hear me. Good afternoon, colleagues, and thank you for inviting me. I have been very proud and pleased to be part of the Europe and Friends project. You can see from that, I hope you're not too shocked if you can see me by the fact that I've now gone grey. It's got nothing to do with TM and is not a byproduct of meditation at all. I just decided during lockdown that this was the way to go, and I'm quite proud and pleased with my new hair. It's got nothing to do with meditation. You can see from the video how my colleagues have reacted to the introduction of TM within the schools. And who would have predicted that we would be entering this very stressful time of pandemic. And I think that it's provided us all with that reserve of resilience that we've needed to get through these times. When the government in the UK initially announced that they were closing down schools because of the nature, the vulnerable nature of the young people that we deal with, we were required to carry on teaching those children that wanted to come in. And the response of the staff, many of whom are meditators, to that has amazed me, because it's quite a fearful situation currently, but the level of resilience that people have developed after a year and 6 months, I think I've been meditating certainly since May 2018. And I think the longer that you're meditating, the more impact it has. And so that it has enabled my staff to be much more resilient in difficult times. And they have been able to give more to the young people. I've always said to the staff that it's like when you're traveling on an aircraft and the host or hostess stands at the front and says to you that when the oxygen light goes on, as adults, you need to put on the mask first, because you can't help your children if you can't breathe. And I think that's what it's done for us. It's allowed us to provide ourselves with an oxygen mask, a way of developing resilience, a way of potentially being less reactive to the young people who are extremely reactive individuals. And that sense of calm, as adults, we make the weather, and that has penetrated into both the schools. And coming back after COVID, it's absolutely amazing to see how calm the youngsters are, and the ethos of the school is so calm. And much of that is down to the fact that the majority of our staff meditate. So I'm hoping that these projects continue, because this work needs to be spread through more schools, and we will be offering to teach the young people going forward. And I'm proud to be part of this team, and it's lovely to see you all, even though it's at a distance.
Wonderful, and we're very proud that you are part of the team as well, Philomena. You've been a great leader, and your gentle and powerful leadership has really shone through. So thank you very much, Philomena. And I'd now like to introduce Lawrence Taroni, who is the head teacher of the North East Essex, and he's as enthusiastic as ever for the programme.
Good afternoon, everybody. I literally just had to go downstairs to meet with my colleagues from the police who had called in to see me. So I've now returned to my desk, and I'd like to say hello to you all. I mean, essentially, Richard, I concur with everything that everybody said, but Ashley Dean's presentation and Annette's presentation really resonated with me. And I'd just like to say, really, that meditation since June 2018 has kept me very grounded as a school leader. And we've got 7 staff here in a relatively small school that are consistently meditating. And I'd say since March, since we've had the lockdown period in the United Kingdom, I think my thinking processes, my ability to deal with what is probably one of the most significant crisis situations as school leaders we've had, has really, meditation has allowed me to deal with that much more than I ever be able to in the past. And I think it's also made difference to the small groups of students that we've had during the day. So really, I think in summary, the world pandemic has been a real test of our school's meditation and the 7 members of staff that do it consistently and regularly. So again, I just want to say thank you and for the time and the effort that Maharishi Foundation have put into us as a school. And I look forward to working with you in the future. I hope that was okay and what you were looking for. But,
yeah.
Thank you for inviting me this afternoon.
Well, thank you very much, Lawrence, and thank you for taking the time in your busy schedule for this meeting. And it's lovely to share the results across Europe as well. So your voice is being heard across Europe. It's really fantastic. Thank you very much, Lawrence. And thank you for participating in the programme itself. And now I'd like to invite Leisha Gaffney, who's one of the teachers, the TM teachers, who taught in the other alternative provision school. We've had 3 schools, one in Liverpool and 2 in Essex. But now we'd like to go over to hear from one of the teachers who actually taught in the New Heights School in Liverpool, along with other schools in Lancashire, in Blackpool, in Preston, and also in Staffordshire. So over to you, Leisha.
Thank you, Richard. Yeah, my link teacher in the school said that it is the toughest school in Liverpool, and I think that's probably true. Some of the kids, their fathers were in jail, or they were living in refuges with their mothers, or they didn't know whether they were boys or girls or anything like that. And we only taught 20 kids, largely because my link teacher had a bereavement and she was off work for a long time. But on the positive side, I did a Zoom check with some of the teachers the other day, and hopefully I'm going to teach some more staff next week, because my link teacher has persuaded them to learn. Also, as a follow-up, the school that we taught, the primary school in Blackpool where we taught, probably about 15 staff and the head teacher, they're organising a resilience event which we would have participated in on this year, except that it was cancelled. So hopefully we will be there next June for their resilience event, which is funded. I've no idea what it's going to be, but it's just going to be an opportunity for us to follow on what we've done and to try and keep this project alive. So that's it really. I mean, it's been great fun doing it. It's been fantastic hearing what everybody has to say. And I just hope that we can continue and carry on with this, because it's just so vital for everybody at the present time. Thank you.
Leisha, that's very inspiring, and thank you for leading the project in very difficult circumstances, and just being so persistent with the project and working closely with the staff there. So you and your husband David have been an inspiration to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
And finally, I'd like to just invite Dr. Derek Cassells, who is the former head teacher of a school where Transcendental Meditation has been part of the curriculum for a very long time. And Dr. Derek Cassells was the former head teacher there of the Maharishi School in Lancashire. And Derek is a great inspiration himself, and many of you, he's a very familiar figure in the field of consciousness-based education. Over to you, Derek.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you very much. Well, and good afternoon to you all. I hope you're all enjoying what's left of the summer. I think the best place to start would be to say that I was the head teacher of Maharishi School for 29 years, and the school was established so that Transcendental Meditation would form part of the school, and the pupils would be meditating morning and afternoon. What hadn't been anticipated was how much everyone would benefit from the integration of this practice. And by everyone, I mean the principal, the senior management team, the teachers, the teaching assistants, the administrators, the pupils, and the parents of the pupils. Normally in schools, when you've got an intervention, it's an intervention for a certain group. But this is an intervention that affects everybody, and it improves for everyone. So for instance, for the principal and the senior management team and the teachers and the teaching assistants and the administrators, they can start to see both professional and personal development. And in addition to that, the pupils start to see improvements in their behavior and also in their academic attainment. And the key with this is the ease of implementation, that it's actually very easy to do. Some minutes spent in the morning and the afternoon meditating is sufficient to achieve everything that anyone would want to achieve. I think the best way to understand it is to start to think about what the central aim of the school could be stated as. And it could be stated as, the world is my family. And the world in this case means everything and everyone. And what it means is that everything and everyone in the world is as dear to me as my own self. And it's with this understanding that it's easy to understand why both resilience and inclusion are both developed. And of course, with the Friends project, resilience and inclusion are central to that. But this is a project that improves resilience and inclusion from the very basis. So all the adults involved with the program, all the pupils involved with the program uniquely benefit. So I would recommend to any educators, principals, any teachers, that this quiet time with transcendental meditation, it's easy to implement and should be implemented in every school. That's all I have to say, Richard. Thank you very much.
Well, what an intention for the whole field of education throughout Europe. Thank you very much, Derek. And that concludes our presentation from the UK. Thank you.
Thank you.
Perhaps I ought to just say one thing to thank the EU also for these two projects, which have been such a great inspiration across Europe and has led to some very considerable developments. Thank you.
Thank you, Richard. Very inspiring also all your presentation and all your speakers. Now we pass to Belgium, and the moderator for Belgium will be Claudio Scurla.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we have to play a video of the House of Colors first, because Hilde Stockman is in a hurry now. So if we can play this video first, and then she will present the project in her institution.
Ik ben Julia uit Roemenië.
Ik ben Michiel uit België. Ik ben Kelvin uit Kenia.
Ik ben Nazir uit Afghanistan.
Ik ben Adisu van Ethiopië.
5 jongeren met verschillende achtergronden die samen het project Together We Stand hebben opgezet.
Wij leerden jonge vluchtelingen kennen en wilden ze in contact brengen met Belgische jongeren om zo een hechtere band te krijgen.
Ik wilde een warme omgeving creëren, waar wij respectvol met elkaar kunnen omgaan.
Wij willen graag open zijn, maar elkaar vooral luisteren om het beter te begrijpen.
Ik vind het super dat ik mezelf kan zijn, dat ik erbij kan horen.
De meeste van ons hebben veel meegemaakt. Iedereen heeft zijn eigen struggle.
Als ik hier ben, dan denk ik niet aan mijn problemen.
Het is een verademing. Iemand die luistert zonder te oordelen.
Niks moet, gewoon elkaar ontmoeten.
Zo ontdekken we dat we in onze verschillen toch heel veel gelijkenissen hebben.
Mijn naam is Sjaak Huygen. Ik ben leraar Transcendental Meditatie sinds 1988. Ik heb ongeveer 1200 mensen leren mediteren hier in België. Je moet je voorstellen dat je een techniek krijgt en leert beheersen die jou de kans geeft om een diepe toestand van rust te krijgen die 2 keer dieper is dan slaap, terwijl je gewoon zittend in een stoel gesloten ogen hebt. Het resultaat is dat je aan één kant in een hele diepe toestand van rust zit en aan de andere kant helder wakker blijft. En dat geeft enorm veel voordelen ten aanzien van de gezondheid. Maar een van de belangrijke toepassingen is de PTSD, Post-Traumatic Stress Disorder, zoals die gevonden wordt bij mensen in oorlogssituaties. En daar blijkt de TM-techniek een enorm krachtige methode te zijn om die mensen af te helpen van de nefaste effecten van die zware stress die ze meegemaakt hebben in het verleden. En in dat kader voeren we verschillende projecten in België.
We kwamen in contact met deze jongeren die veel te lijden hadden onder de stress van wat ze in hun land en tijdens hun vlucht hadden meegemaakt. Die verhalen hebben ons erg geraakt. We hebben lang gezocht naar een manier om hen te kunnen helpen om rust in zichzelf terug te vinden. Via ons netwerk in Ierland komen we in contact met survival yoga en transcendente meditatie. We zijn het eerst zelf gaan leren en zo bij ons project kunnen linken aan het Friends project.
Ik ben Joy en ik ben 15 jaar. Ik mediteer 3 keer per dag. Ik vind dat ik veel beter mijn leerstof voor school kan onthouden door mediteren. En ik vind het ook leuk om te doen.
Backup hebben.
We voelen dat we iets in beweging brengen.
Vaak praten wij over mijn land en jouw land, maar uiteindelijk is het onze wereld.
Hilde, do you want to say a word on your project, House of Colors?
So we have had a very nice experience with our project in House of Colors with young refugees and also Belgian youngsters. It was quite a challenge. It's not easy to start people in big trauma, to teach them, to let them start meditation. But at least we can say we have been sowing seeds of hope for the future. And we have decided that we really want to go on with it. It's still a way of searching, because we feel that when we go into this field of trauma, that we really need a lot of guidance and experience. But we also feel that we believe that TM can really bring some more cohesion, connection, and peace in the society about the topic also of refugees, the multicultural society who is in evolution, and which goes with a lot of stress and struggle. But it was a very nice experience. And we really want to go on with it, because we now want to start implementing it in an asylum center, which I am leading now. It was a very nice experience, and I'm sorry that I have to be this short, but I really need to go. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Hilde. Thank you very much.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
So House of Colors is a private institution that has been created by Hilde Stockman, and she takes care of some refugees that are coming into Belgium. And she began that project alone, and she had so much success with it that the Queen of Belgium visited her to see what she was doing.
She's back. She's back.
Oh, yeah. I'm crazy. I'm getting crazy. We open our asylum center in 2 days. So everybody is calling and stressed. The only thing that I have to say is that we are very grateful that we have met TM, that we see opportunities for the future, that we have the experience we had with our staff, ourselves, are very good. Is great. Just to work with refugees is already something very dynamic and stress related. So even for the co-workers to be taught TM is already a very great benefit. So even to the future, we want to extend that effect on the broader environment, and also the refugees themselves. We want to give them the opportunity, because we know all this. There is the next. I'm sorry, I cannot continue, but you are doing good.
Okay. So yeah, in Belgium, as you know, we have two communities. We have a French part speaking language and a Dutch one. And in order to keep a kind of balance in this country, it is good that when you do in one region, you do also in the other. Otherwise, you know, when you are speaking about two, there are some dissensions that can crop in. And the good thing is that in Belgium, we succeeded in teaching a school in the French side of Belgium and also in the Dutch side of Belgium. In the French side, we introduced it in an elementary school in Eau-de-Guien, where 95% of the students have learned TM with very great satisfaction, and all the teachers as well. And we did also the same in the Dutch side, and for that I will introduce our dear Paul Newdorp, who is a TM teacher and is working with great success in Flanders, in the city of Aigem, which is between Ghent and Brussels. So I will give you the floor. Paul, give us some feedback on what you are doing there in the school of Ehrenbodekem.
Thank you, Claudio. Hello, everyone. I'm a criminologist and I had my master degree on TM in 1979 at the University of Leuven. And I was interested, and still I am, in stress reduction in order to have better relationships in society and more quality of life and coexistence. Now, these school projects we're talking about today are for me the examples to show that these goals are now realistic for the whole society. Second, I want to apologize the principal and caretaker of the school where we are about to present. The COVID-16 measurements in schools today require much more energy than possible, but they send you all best wishes to continue these projects for our younger generations to come. The project of the school, called Air Balloon, is located about half an hour driving from Brussels and is a primary school with a population of about 120 children. And the school pays a lot of attention to the extra guidance of children in difficult circumstances, for example, children of refugees. 2 years ago, the principal asked me to start with TM for two reasons. One, on the one hand, because TM has a scientific basis and it is a standardized method. On the other hand, because it perfectly meets the standards imposed by the Government of Education regarding the set goals of well-being of children in their education process. It is not only learning, but also living. 9 out of 12 teachers and 91 out of 120 children were taught to the technique of quiet time for the -10 year and TM for the +10 year. The first time we did this meditation exercise on the playground with the whole school was very impressive. The silence with 120 children was so great that you could only hear the wind. Even the children who did not meditate were remarkably silent during this event, as if it had a kind of influence on their behavior. This collective silence or tranquility has now become a hallmark of the school. Each day begins with a meditation, and it is totally different start of the day, not going from the one activity jumping into the other, but making inner silence before receiving knowledge. Also, the teachers feel it as a gift, given the situation of education in our society is quite a challenge. The principal says that the school climate is so different from the past and from other schools where much more interventions are needed towards children, where there are many more absences or displacements than in this school. And a visit by the Inspectorate of the Ministry of Education led to being surprised and great appreciation, and above that, the Pupil Guidance Center of the school noticed very clearly the differences among many pupils with a degree of difficulty. The fact of COVID-16 came along, so many children had to stay at home, and we lost contact with them for some time. But today they are back in school, and the teacher of the 6th grade last week notifies that the children are doing much better their meditation than before because they miss the feeling of being more relaxed and at ease. So from now on, each new teacher and each new pupil will be offered the technique as a standard method used in the school education project. So therefore, we thank the Erasmus project, the European community, and especially all members of the Friends project for this great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. This is really a great achievement. So yeah, this is what we wanted to say from Belgium. Just for summarizing, we have reached more than what we expected to do here in this country, because we instructed 263 students and 96 school teachers, which is nearly the double of what we expected to do. So we can say that it has been a great success. That's it. I give you the floor, Gonzalo.
Thank you, Claudio. Thank you for all the presentation, and this is very inspiring. Now we pass to Italy, our last country for the French project, even if later we will have another country that comes from a Europe project. But now I pass the floor to Sandy, who will be moderating the Italy presentation. Sandy, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much, Gonzalo. Hello, good afternoon. I'm honored to be part of the project and to be here this afternoon. And we can start very soon with the experiences of Maria Teresa Dosso, principal of the school cluster in Rovereto, Federico Mozzi, a teacher of the primary school in Rovereto, and Mirka Cevenini, teacher of the primary school in Bolzano. So if you can please show now the videos, thank you.
Nel nostro istituto comprensivo il 70% dei docenti ha scelto di aderire al progetto Scuola senza stress, un momento di quiete in classe, e di seguire quindi la formazione dei maestri di meditazione trascendentale. Hanno partecipato al progetto 7 classi di scuola primaria e in quell'occasione molti genitori hanno dimostrato un interesse e chiesto di partecipare anche loro alla formazione. Purtroppo il Covid e il lockdown hanno limitato molto lo sviluppo del nostro progetto. I docenti però hanno proseguito con gli incontri con i maestri di meditazione in videoconferenza e molti di loro hanno riscontrato un miglioramento del benessere personale, soprattutto durante il periodo del lockdown, che è stato molto duro e impegnativo per gli insegnanti, sia dal punto di vista professionale per la didattica a distanza, sia dal punto di vista personale per la preoccupazione sanitaria. Per noi è stato quindi un progetto positivo e, visti gli esiti, intendiamo proseguire appena possibile con questo progetto che ci ha dato modo di sperimentare la riduzione dello stress attraverso la meditazione trascendentale.
Come persona, la meditazione durante il lockdown mi ha aiutato tantissimo a mantenere una postura interiore corretta e a non farmi sentire il peso dell'ansia che derivava da tutto quello che gira attorno al Covid. Ed è stato un grande aiuto, un grande aiuto. Per quello che riguarda le classi, prima del lockdown abbiamo iniziato a lavorare con i bambini e immediatamente anche loro hanno avuto un beneficio in termini di più tranquillità in classe e più serenità. Anche loro la mattina, magari stai per compilare il registro, ti chiedono: maestro, dobbiamo fare la meditazione. Ti chiedevano, perché adesso, hanno, in generale, le classi, almeno quelle che ho io, hanno avuto un buonissimo riscontro proprio in termini di serenità personale.
Buonasera a tutti. Sia come insegnante che come persona sono qua per testimoniare la mia esperienza di quello che è la meditazione trascendentale. A livello personale, nella mia quotidianità, mi aiuta ad affrontare soprattutto questo periodo molto difficile in maniera serena e avendo sempre chiari gli obiettivi. Per quanto riguarda invece l'esperienza scolastica, lavorando anche in una sezione Montessori, ho capito quanto il silenzio che porta il momento di meditazione e di quiete in classe possa aiutare i bambini in questo momento difficile in cui viene chiesto loro di seguire molte regole. Il momento della meditazione, in questo caso in classe, è sempre un momento in cui aiuta tantissimo i bambini a rilassarsi ed affrontare tutto quello che gli viene chiesto in maniera più tranquilla e spontanea.
So thank you really very much. As you see, these are the experiences of the principal and of the teachers who excuse themselves for not being here today, but they left us these videos for their experiences. Now I'm glad to pass the word to Rossano Mazet, psychologist, psychotherapist, TM teacher, leader of Friends Project for the Italian Transcendental Meditation Association, expert member of the Italian board for the project Healthy Cities, project of the World Health Organization, WHO. So if you're here, Rossano.
I'm here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to be here. Thank you very much to Mirta, Stefano, and everybody. And in 2 minutes, because Sandy told me not more than 2 minutes, what we have done in Italy. In Italy, the initial goal was for the Friend Project, of course, was to start 150 students. At the end, we have started 600 students. Now we see how. So the region and the school involved overall 6 schools in 3 regions. The region was Lombardy, the bigger region in Italy, Trentino Alto Adige, where Sandy lives, and Tuscany. In the first step, we have initiated 452 between professor, parents, students, I mean age from 5 years old to 19 years old, specifically 240 students, 184 professors, and 30 parents. Overall, 452. We have had a strong domain of expansion, demand of expansion from school, and it has been possible to expand Friends to another 150 students from the Rovereto school into the first group into school in Pisa. Thanks to the money that we have get from the Marisci Foundation Italy, therefore, that overall in Italy is 452 plus another 150 students, in total, therefore 600 for Italy. During the COVID period, we have continued regularly with the meeting that we have held online, of course, by Zoom, as now, to support the teacher with their greatly appreciated witnesses, their benefits in this particular difficult time for them. The Friend Project was presented to the Municipal Council of the Youth Municipality Council of Sacile, Pordenone, Regione Friuli Venezia Giulia. It's a perfect replica of the municipality councils that is running the municipality and the country of Sacile, that is a friend partner. The Friend Project has stimulated the interest of the prison in Alessandria, Piemonte, which my colleague Patrizia Tessarin will discuss in detail in 2 minutes after when I finish, I think. Open problem for the future. Of course, there are open problems for the future. Due to COVID-19, schools are overwhelmed by security measures, a lot of problems, but we have a request to expand the project at least for another 300 students and teachers. The school is in Rovereto and Pisa. Economy problem, lack of fund and money is the main problem of school. The possible solution, we are setting up a crowdfunding on an international platform to collect money in order to instruct this another 300 students. Thank you very much for the attention. I have also written a quote that I would like to share with you. That is, it's a Chinese proverb. When the wind of change blows, some people build walls and others build windmill. I think that is our case. Thank you very much for your attention, and have a nice day to everybody.
Thank you really very much, Rossano, for your speech. And now we will see the experience of Alessandro Gasparotto. He is the vice mayor of Sacile, and it will be about the expansion of the project in the municipality of Sacile. Unfortunately, he cannot be here because of work, so we will have a video of his experience. So thank you so much for showing.
Good afternoon. I'm Alessandro Gasparotto. I come from Italy. I'm the vice manager of the municipality of Sacile, located in Italy in the northeast near Venice. My city has joined the Friends project, becoming a partner, the only Italian municipality to take on this role. Sacile is also a member of the Healthy Cities Network, being a part of the board. The Healthy Cities Network promotes actions aimed at increasing well-being in cities. Healthy Cities Network is supported by WHO. Within this organization was presented the Friends project for involving the Youth Municipality Council. You can see the Healthy Cities Network page that presents the initiative. The presentation of the project found space in the local press, and an article appeared with the significant title Inclusive School, Youth Like the Friends Project. The project, led by the director of the elderly home, was subsequently presented at the final works in Lisbon, obtaining further space and coverage in the newspaper. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Now I am happy to introduce Patrizia Tessarin, Vice President of the Italian Transcendental Meditation Association and responsible for the PRISM projects, who will speak about the PRISM project in Alessandria. So Patrizia.
Thank you, Sandy. Good afternoon, everyone. Sono molto felice di essere qui oggi per poter condividere con voi i risultati del progetto Carcere senza stress, che nasce come un ramo del Friends.
So I'm very happy to be here today and to have the chance to share with you the results of the project Stress-Free Prison, which sprouted from the Friends project.
Carcere senza stress ha lo scopo di aumentare la resilienza, migliorare in modo efficace la salute psicofisica, di ridurre stress e ansia, aspetti negativi del carattere nei detenuti e il rischio burnout negli agenti operatori.
The Stress-Free Prison project has the goal to increase resilience, improve efficiently psychological health, reduce stress and anxiety, negative aspect of the inmates' characters, and the risk of burnout for the staff.
Il progetto è stato finanziato dalla Fondazione Bancaria San Paolo e si è concluso a gennaio 2020.
The project has been financed by the Bank Foundation San Paolo and was concluded in January 2020.
Sono stati coinvolti 16 detenuti e 16 agenti operatori penitenziari. L'introduzione della meditazione trascendentale, sorry Sandy, ha dimostrato di essere la chiave per raggiungere lo scopo del progetto, che poi la ricerca ha confermato.
16 inmates and 16 prison officers operators have been involved in the project. The implementation of Transcendental Meditation has proven to be the key to reach the aim of the project, confirmed by research.
Grazie alla Fondazione Marisci a febbraio è stato possibile fare un'espansione del progetto a ulteriori 30 detenuti nell'area educativa.
Thanks to Marishi Foundation, in February there has been a further expansion of the project for 30 more inmates of the educational area.
Mi auguro che questa esperienza possa essere utile perché ci sia la possibilità sempre di più di accedere ai progetti come il Friends. Thank you.
I wish that this experience can be useful so that there can be the chance to access to projects like the Friends. Thank you. Grazie Patrizia.
Grazie a te, grazie a tutti voi.
Thank you so much. So now we close this series of experiences and speeches with a video showing the concrete results in prison, and we will see that they can go really very deep. So thank you for showing the video now.
Il progetto è stato un progetto che ci è stato regalato, non c'è stata una nostra progettazione su questo aspetto, però quando ci è stato offerto, avendo una popolazione detenuta anche con delle pene molto lunghe, abbiamo ritenuto che fosse sicuramente un'opportunità da offrire e abbiamo deciso di offrirla proprio alle persone che dovranno stare molti anni in carcere, ritenendo che l'apprendimento di una tecnica che porta del benessere o comunque una capacità di gestire le difficoltà non poteva che giovare. Un aspetto positivo del progetto è sicuramente che la stessa attenzione è stata dedicata anche al personale, sia personale di polizia che personale dell'area educativa, e anche alcuni impiegati amministrativi hanno potuto fruire di questa scelta e di questa opportunità e devo dire con anche loro un'estrema soddisfazione. Gli aspetti positivi sono senz'altro quelli di un aiuto a gestire, direi, la propria emotività o la propria difficoltà a gestire, per esempio, i ritmi di una detenzione molto lunga e anche della quotidianità, quindi questo sicuramente. Per altri è stata riportata come un'esperienza molto interessante che ha dato l'opportunità di riflettere quantomeno sullo strumento e sulla sua utilità.
Ho scelto di fare questa esperienza in quanto molti anni fa avevo avuto una precedente esperienza negli isolamenti ed avevo trovato beneficio. Dopodiché in questo carcere c'è stata questa occasione e ho pensato bene di ripropormi e devo dire che sono lieto di averlo fatto perché a distanza di mesi è una cosa che credo abbia riempito meglio il mio tempo. Riempire meglio il tempo significa stare meglio con se stessi. Questo silenzio che è utile per rigenerarmi e sono diventato anche più paziente rispetto al mio temperamento un po' aggressivo. Quindi è un'esperienza che continuerò a fare e spero di non abbandonare mai perché dà benessere. Io ricerco il vero e quindi in questa dimensione che pratico giornalmente 2 volte al giorno riesco ad avere dei contatti con me stesso che mi giovano.
Sono diventato più positivo, vedo le cose diversamente. Mi sembra che l'energia negativa quando medito se ne allontana proprio.
L'inizio è stato appunto grazie all'opportunità che ci è stata data, insomma, di questo progetto che avete portato del carcere e avendo io si offriva a detenuti che avessero una pena lunga, insomma qualcosa di non condanne piccole. Io purtroppo rientravo in questa categoria e quindi l'ho accettata, mi è sembrata subito una cosa, pur non conoscendo, non avevo mai sentito parlare di meditazione trascendentale, quindi mi è piaciuta l'idea. Ho iniziato con la meditazione e la cosa che subito mi ha entusiasmata è stata, io dormo di notte, però comunque avevo un sogno molto più leggero, più facilmente disturbato, non incubi ma sogni comunque che non portavano a un buon risveglio. E da subito ho notato questa cosa, che se meditavo dormivo bene, se smettevo di meditare riprendevo a avere dei disturbi. E quindi questa cosa è stata un po' quello che mi ha motivato a continuare, e adesso a distanza di 8 mesi che meditiamo, se non medito mi manca. Ho sempre sofferto di pressione un po' alta, anche la pressione si è stabilizzata.
Ho iniziato la meditazione così per gioco, per passatempo. Poi sono una persona molto, come dire, molto scettica, no? E finché non vedo non credo. E così per curiosità ho provato a fare questo corso di meditazione. Io sono una persona molto istintiva e questo mi ha sempre causato problemi, e da quando sto meditando riesco a fare quello che mi hanno sempre detto, cioè di contare fino a 10. È una cosa buona, riesco a trovarmi meno in situazioni spiacevoli, riesco a tollerare un po' di più, e è una cosa buona. Io ho sempre provato a smettere di fumare, ma senza avere risultati, mentre invece adesso è un mese esatto, 29 giorni, che ho smesso di fumare, non fumo proprio zero, né una sigaretta né niente. E la cosa che mi fa ancora più specie è che le volte che ho provato a smettere di fumare ero più irritabile, più nervoso, invece adesso la prendo proprio, come si dice, con filosofia, proprio sul ridere, non sento quella mancanza, non la sento. Posso dire che ho avuto degli effetti benefici, perché di solito io mi guardo allo specchio e vedo solo l'immagine riflessa, mentre invece da quando sto meditando riesco a vedere anche oltre l'immagine, riesco a vedere dentro di me, nella profondità, cosa ho dentro, a riflettere di più sulle cose, a essere più razionale anche sulle cose.
So thank you really very much. And now I pass the floor again to Gonzalo. Thank you.
Thank you, Sandy. Thank you for these fantastic videos and these fantastic presentations. Now, to the other two countries that they were presenting their experiences. They were not present in the French project, but they were present in the Europe, in the previous project called Europe project. And now I pass the floor to Annabella Simoes from Sweden.
Hi, my name is Annabella Simoes, and I had the great benefit to be part of the Europe project that implemented quiet time in some schools in Sweden. In total, we implemented quiet time in 5 schools. We taught 141 students in this school to meditate, 64 teachers, and also 27 parents. And it was so great to get the feedback from teachers, especially, it's easier to cope with the stress. And the students, some students could say, oh, you changed my life, I can sleep. I'm much clearer when I'm in school, it's fantastic. So it was a big joy to be a part of it. And especially one school in the center of Sweden, a school that started because we got a lot of migrants here in Sweden, refugees, and many children came without parents. So it's a great stress to a new country, a new language and everything. So in this school, the Welcome School, they implemented a quiet time, and it was a big help for the students to have this technique. Many of them also managed to go on to higher educations, something that usually is very difficult for them. But so it was a great help for them. So this was my contribution. Thank you for all the work you do. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Nawala.
Det krävs mycket av våra barn och ungdomar idag på ett annat sätt än förr i tiden. Det kräver mycket eget ansvar, eget driv. Hela samhället har en annan hastighet, ett annat flöde.
Det sprider sig överhuvudtaget i skolvärlden idag att man får fler och fler hemmasittare. Och sen har vi många barn med prestationsångest. Och att kunna hjälpa barnen att hantera det tycker jag är jätteviktigt.
Det är lite så här kaos ibland i klassen. Men efter meditationen känns det som att alla lugnar ner sig. Liksom. Det är nice, det är skönt.
Man går ner i en sån stillhet att det kändes nästan som att man lämnade sig själv. Och det hände ganska tidigt. Men då fick vi ju veta det att det var ju så det skulle vara. Så det är lite häftigt att man med ganska enkla medel kan komma dit hem. För då förstår man ju också att det är total vila.
Jag hade en lärare som kom till mig och berättade om det här TM och att han hade jobbat med det på tidigare skolor med gott resultat. Jag kände redan efter ett par, 3 gånger effekt att jag kunde fokusera på ett annat sätt och att det gav mig energi.
Jag tyckte det var väldigt spännande, framförallt då när man fick mycket forskning. Den forskning som var kopplad till barn med neuropsykiatriska handikapp och barn överhuvudtaget som var lite i gråzonerna. Men det fanns ju även forskning på vilket barn som helst att det faktiskt stärker din kognitiva förmåga. Barnen var med på noterna direkt och sen mejlade vi ut till föräldrarna och det blev jättebra respons. Det var 100% som blev intresserade.
Min förhoppning är att våra elever kan fokusera på sina studier så att de får sina resultat och att de får en framtid, de får ett jobb. Och som bieffekter att de får ett bra liv. Vi lär dem detta tidigt i livet, att kunna den här djupa avslappningen, kunna fokusera.
Bara det här att gå in i en högstadiegrupp där det är stimmigt och hormonstint och det här är lite strypkoppel på dem. Att gå in dit och säga nu sluter vi ögonen och så är det bara tyst. Det är ju något som är en upplevelse utan dess like. Så att ger man det här ett halvår till tror jag man kommer att se ändå större förändring.
Interesting video. So I pass the floor to Raymond Slot from Holland. Thank you, Raymond.
Hey, Gonzalo, thank you very much. I'm very pleased and happy that I can explain a little bit about the experience that we had with the Europe project. If we look at the schools in the Netherlands and see what the effect were of transcendental meditation within the schools, then we compare them with other pedagogical and didactical approaches, and they are all for a large part outside in. And we try to explain to the children, we try to increase their behavior in some way, improve their behavior in some way. And what you find with transcendental meditation, it's actually the inside-out approach. You decrease stress level, you let people more being themselves, and as a consequence of that, without intellectual considerations or whatever, things just happen. Increase interest and ability to learn for children. I mean, that is exactly what you want as a teacher. That's exactly what you want as a school. You increase the size of the learning container of children, and well, I don't know any other approach that does this. What we also find is that it's lasting effects. Even children who maybe are 10 years or 20 years already from the school are still looking back at the school and say, well, that was a very special and remarkable experience, and these changes I still, what I have learned there, I still take with me. The interesting point that if you want to change schools, there are many programs to change schools, and many programs take years to have effect. And what we heard today, and what we also experience here in the Netherlands, that it doesn't take years, it takes weeks, it takes maybe 1 or 2 months. I mean, it's unbelievable what kind of large effects you have, even in a short time of period. What we also realized, and what was very interesting, is the positive effect on teachers. We heard it several times. Teachers who are saying, well, I feel more relaxed. Actually, what they're saying is, I'm a better teacher. And we all know that the effect of teachers in front of a class is very, very significant on the climate in the class and the way that the children learn, etc., etc., etc. So a happy, positive, well-rested teacher that makes a world of difference. And even the children self-them meditating also supports that. What is a top school? If you look at the history of education, you find that many schools strive to be a top school. What does it mean? Good teaching, good results, and actually having some image in the society. Many top schools achieve this by selecting at the beginning. Only good students are allowed. And very few schools get this status of image of top school. Actually, what we find now that every school can be a top school. Just introduced Transcendental Meditation, and with 2 months of performance, the school performance will sharply increase. Children will become more happy, will be learning more, and sickness and of teachers and staff will be decreased sharply. So TM can improve the performance of schools significantly in a few months. Summarizing. In general terms, TM improves well-being for students and teachers, helps to decrease stress, anxiety, and increases overall well-being, and improves the overall climate in school. In schools where you have a very negative climate, a lot of aggression, students, well, push each other to more negativity. What we find in schools with TM, that we turn that around. Students push each other to more positivity. A very interesting effect. So it's easy to and straightforward to introduce Transcendental Meditation in school. And well, our conclusion is that TM has been proven to be a strong beneficial factor in any learning environment. It contains the promise of bringing learning to an unprecedented level of learning not seen before, just because of this inside-out approach. Any school can benefit from introducing TM in schools, and I think it's very, very important that the project that we have seen, the French project, the Europe project, get a large follow-up through the whole of Europe. I congratulate the schools that included this program. They are very fortunate, and well, very much thanks to all the knowledgeable people who have made this possible. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Raymond. Very interesting, your contribution. Now we pass to Alberto Bramanti from Bocconi University from Milan, in which he will do the recommendation report. Alberto?
Thank you. Thank you, Gondale. Thank you to all of you. Good afternoon to all the attending audience, and thanks also for your patience. Good experiences and state-of-the-art practices are the very core of the Friends project, as we have learned from previous intervention and witnesses. But experiences need to be sustainable, and policy interventions have the goal to strengthen sustainability, to foster the diffusion of best practice, and to implement new approaches rooted in well-being practices and inclusive education. In 5 minutes, I can barely give you the flavor of the following 2 main points: the cost-saving and financial strategies issue, and some policy recommendation to foster systemic change. I will start with the strong statement that investment in well-being makes sense in economic terms, even in times of economic downturn, and in a pandemic environment. We know that the cost of inaction, the cost of doing nothing are huge. Even leaving aside the cost of violence against children, which are indeed very massive and dramatically widespread, we have to mention three different macro costs. The cost of early school leaving, the cost of teachers burnout, and the cost of mental health, both for students and teachers, made explosive by the ongoing global pandemic, as documented by a recent survey carried out by the World Health Organization. As resources are always scarce, we have to prioritize our investments. In this slide, I'm reporting three different programs. The first is a cure program. The second and the third are two preventive programs. We know that prevention is always better than cure, where better also means that it will cost much less. These are back on the envelope estimations, but confirm us that investing in well-being is a vital priority and that QTTM is an effective way to do so. Coming now to the financial strategies, we have to recognize that exceptional and inspiring examples of schools are not hard to come by. Too often, however, they are isolated examples, while we must move from the extraordinary to the normality, also knowing that is the first condition for sustainability. We need to engage school in long-term capacity building in communities. We need to support a multi-year financial plan. We would better introduce a reward clause. We should guarantee the full availability of all the extra budgeting resources gathered by the school at the local level from the surrounding community. The policies of well-being go far beyond the educational dimension and therefore are those on which a joint investment by the school and its community is most appropriate. We are rapidly moving to the policy implications, distinguishing between national and European policies. The two main recommendations for the national level address the process of enabling schools to be proactive actors of well-being policies. The first keyword is flexibility. Let schools do their job, and therefore guarantee to each school some degree of freedom in organizing their curriculum. The second keyword is autonomy. There is a further fundamental teaching coming from our Portuguese friend. They have recently introduced the possibility to hire dedicated staff in charge of well-being programs in the school. And this is a second fundamental achievement we have to take into account and to give them the greatest consideration. Coming now to the European level, three are the main questions arising from the project. We know that the recovery fund is a direct code that every politician would like to milk, but well-being, attention, and inclusive education are among the best investment we can choose for supporting the next generation. And it is therefore essential within the recovery fund to make room for robust investment in well-being. The second recommendation is promoting the European network of teaching training centers as a tool for exchanging good practices, delivering teachers training, and accompanying schools. And the third and final one is promoting research on and evaluation of well-being and inclusive educational programs. If we can do all the things well, we will have provided a fundamental contribution to generating systemic change based on well-being and inclusive education. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Alberto. Very interesting conclusion, very interesting recommendation. Hope that all the governments and the European Commission, as well as the European institutions, will take the opportunity to understand it. And now we are in a very key moment with this after this pandemic. And now we are in a crossway in which all the government has to submit these recovery plans to the European Commission. So I think that is the moment that all the government can take into account that education is one. It is crucial for the recovery of all these countries, and take the possibility of in taking into account this program of well-being in the education system, so we can manage to get this systematic change, as Alberto said. Now we have a short time because we have to conclude because we are very late. So I invite Fabrizio Boldrini to conclude this session. So please, Fabrizio, are you there?
Thank you. Thank you. I'm here. Thank you very much, Gonzalo, for having leading this workshop so productively. All the good things come at an end, and so I would like to say really great and really big thank you to all the participants in this seminar. I think we have had some experiences and videos and things that can help us to understand that this project originally addressed to the world of schools, to education, in its reality can be expanded in many other applications. So this is a message for us as a coordinator, for us as a consortium, to think about the future of Erasmus, also in order that we know is going to be reprogramming in these days. So I hope that Erasmus, the European Parliament, the people, the Erasmus people will take into account the opportunity to expand this experience that are not strictly related to education, but that involve in one hand the inner side of the students, and the other hand their participation to the community. And so thank you very much for all the efforts we have done during the project and after the project, as you see, for having taken this message so hard and so strong. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, and see you the next project meeting that I hope will be very soon.
Thank you, Fabrizio. Just want to share you the website of a partner of Friends project, in which you can find all the contacts and partners from the project. So if you need further information about the project, if you need to contact us in whatever country you need it, please contact us for further information. And that's all. Thank you for staying here, for your passion. We are a little bit delayed, but I think that it was worth, and it was very interesting. Thank you to all the speakers for their contribution. Thank you to all the participants for being so passionate and to be with us, and hope that we will be very soon in a new project. So keep in touch. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
And thank you, Gonzalo, for being such a wonderful chairman of the whole project here.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thank you, everybody.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Friends.